Hey guys, Loco here with Misfits versus Fnatic. So, Misfits in very awkward spot. They spent a lot of money on their roster and they had very high hopes for their roster, but unfortunately for them, things haven't really panned out and a lot of underperformance from their original members in Maxlore and Hansama really hemorrhaging their efforts. And overall, this team did lack so much direction while they were under Jesse's, and they dug themselves into a big enough hole where Moose had to come in, but still the problems aren't fixed. They're still very much fighting for their life for playoffs, right outside of the playoff berth. As for Fnatic, they came off from Worlds, making finals at Worlds, and then they lost Caps, and they had a dog shit start. Probably one of the worst starts for a team this highly touted to do well. So yeah, both teams in a very awkward spot, trying to barely make playoffs. Neither team imagined they'd be fighting for a spot in playoffs at this point in the season when they started, but here we are. So yeah, let's get started with the review. Draven ban, something we see a lot in Europe. Draven ban, and Tristana ban. While it's not a very, I would say, a common ban, it's a ban targeted specifically towards Reckles. Elise ban, same thing, targeted specifically towards Broxa. Misfits doing a lot of respect bans. Fnatic also doing the same with Draven, Callista. Karthus, you can say, is more of a priority ban for teams in Europe. Everyone in Europe plays Karthus, so it's not just a ban towards Maxlore. Ooh, Lee ban, another respect ban towards Broxa. Broxa got a lot of respect bans here. So leading up with Lucian, I would imagine something like maybe Jarvan Galio follow-up or Jarvan Israel follow-up. Ooh, Jarvan Galio, there we have it. That's the North American special. This is the easy to execute, strong team fight, strong engage, just good front line, very solid jungle and support combo. Fnatic replying with Braum and Lissandra, also very strong. Braum and Lucian go really well together in the 2v2. Lissandra, good blindable solo. I really like the Cassio pick here though. Cassio is a great pick into Lissandra, and she already has a frontline and engage system that she can play very nicely with. So far, I love how Misfits is drafting. The only power pick they really gave up is Braum and Lucian together over the Fnatic. Nocturne ban, the signals they want to prevent Misfits from, or they want to prevent Fnatic from 1-3-1ing. Rek'Sai ban, kind of interesting because they already have a Jarvan. I guess Jarvan could always go top, so they're banning Rek'Sai because of that. But if they ban too much junglers, they're just going to send Jarvan to the jungle. And Jace, also a split pusher, so it looks like Misfits closing up split push options from Fnatic because they already have a Lissandra. So this Renekton is a top. It's a Renekton top. The moment they pick Renekton, it makes it Renekton top. I probably would have preferred them picking AD here and picking top on the 5th so they can keep the flex alive with Jarvan. But not the end of the world. So Zac here, I like better than most situations for Zac. Oh, okay, maybe Evelyn. We'll see what they lock. Oh, Seju. So Seju Aatrox, this is a strong top lane 2v2 when taken together. Sejuani with pretty much any melee top carry is a strong 2v2. And they want to make sure they're able to face Renekton. Shit. Wait, what? Cassio bot lane, I see. I'm okay with Cassio bot lane, but Cassio's great in mid lane versus Lissandra, so I think they could have just ran Israel with Cleanse or something like that. I think running Israel with Cleanse here is super powerful versus Sejuani, Lissandra, and even the Braum. Interesting decision from Misfit to rotate Cassio to bot lane in draft rides. I'm gonna fucking hate this shit if they... I'm gonna fucking hate this shit if the ride struggles versus the Lissandra, because they already had a champion that would have done well versus Lissandra in Cassiopeia, and they literally swapped away from it. They drafted... Yeah, if this Rise struggles versus Lissandra when they already had a Cassio on the team, it's gonna make me very upset for Misfits. Why? Yeah. Yeah, I think Israel would have fit in really nicely here. Cassio Israel with Jarb and Galio frontline and a Renekton pick. They can play towards the Renekton side earlier on in the game and go into team fights later. Fuck. Yeah, still a little bit confused about the Rights pick. We'll see how it plays out though. Because Lissandra loves generally being versus mid-range mages like Ryze due to how Aftershock and her W works and how she overall works as a champion. While Cassio is also a great champion in terms of being able to pressure the Lucian, but it's not like Reckless was going to play for a lot of pressure anyways. Oh, they knew they were getting pushed in also. They should have just played further back. A little bit greedy from Hansama there, forced to burn his flash. Yeah, I like Max Lord too, but it's inarguable he's been problematic. Oh, this is the solo kill we saw. I saw this on a highlight. I saw this on mic check. Now I see it for the third time actually happen in game. Oh, them winning the 2v2 is huge. And also Hansama could have stayed a little bit deeper there due to Nemesis using ultimate and W on Galio anyways. Oh, that pullback's brutal. So as if he was gonna flash, he had to flash the pullback. Oh man, he barely landed the taunt on Reckles, but him landing the taunt on Reckles there was super important from Gorilla. And then yep, landing full combo again. Here, after Nemesis goes in, oh, he didn't have any mana. That's why Hansama backed off. Okay. Game pause, Misfits gaming. Alright, let me go put on socks. Holy shit, it's cold without socks. Okay. So, I'll tell you guys the story of this sock. So these are like diabetic socks. These are socks for diabetics apparently. I'm not diabetic, but apparently this helps with like the blood flow, and it's also just super fucking comfy. I saw this at CVS when I was picking up vitamin, and I was like, holy shit, I want some diabetic socks. Oh man, so ads. I think this is a huge problem that Misfits have. Like they drafted Renekton. Renekton lost 1v1, and also they don't play towards Renekton at all. Like they're playing for bot side and dragon, which is fine. Honestly, it's a fine way to play, but why the fuck do you draft Renekton if you're gonna play away from it? And also, why does Soads play aggressive if yeah, like if the whole point of picking Renekton there was to just be like a pressure soak and you weren't gonna play towards it, then Threads should be playing it a little bit differently, but the way they're playing it is not to pressure soak. I'm just very confused. This is how Threads has played his whole career, haha. I mean, Threads has done a good job of being a pressure soak without being dying a lot. This kind of Threads is not something I want to see. Dying solo, playing aggressive when jungler on bot side, playing for dragon, that's just objectively not a good way to be playing. Oh, playing so much to boss side. Like, Rise is doing okay versus Lissandra. I just think if this is all you're going to get from the pick, just put Cassio mid, because I think Cassio does way better. He's always had a lot of isolated deaths. Is that true from Thoads? Because when I think of Thoads, I don't think a lot of isolated deaths. I think solid player, great tank player, well balanced. That's what I think when I think Thoads. They could even pick Rise instead of Renek and maybe put a top even. No, yeah. Well, they could even what is it? They could have even put. They could have not drafted Renekton 4th and drafted a 80 carry 4th, and then last pick their top lane, which I think would have been much better. I mean, we know the results of this game because we checked the standings. Misfits are in a really fucking bad situation in terms of what they have to do for summer, because there's a lot of sunk cost on what they did with their original roster, so they have to make sure they still get something out of this. Maybe this game isn't all the way over though, but it's gonna come down to team fighting. And Fnatic also has really good team fighting right now. Seju, Lissandra, Braum. And Misfits have double tier. They're going to need to stack up on mages. And they're going to need to wait for their mages to actually proc their tier items all the way. You can see 2 tier items. And they're going to need to wait for those tier items to proc. Renekton being 0-2, quite problematic. Aatrox's always going to have priority. And Aatrox's going to be outscaling Renekton too. So there's going to be a point in the game where the Aatrox is crazy scary and Renekton's just like a cute crocodile. They're doing a decent job of picking up side objectives. The Herald there, 2 dragons. Got the mid turret off the Herald. In terms of macro, it's not bad, but it's just how you're going to deal with the Aatrox later. And Aatrox out of control and Aatrox flanking a team fight is so scary to deal with. Let's see how they do it. They do it. Oh my goodness. That was actually so much investment. Let's review that play a little bit. Whipple coming in. Remember what we talked about. Aatrox gonna get priority and gonna roam a lot. Feve gets goad on. Cleanse. Flash dodges stuff. Galio ult coming in. Good shield. They're not able to kill. What the fuck is Jarvan doing throughout this whole time? So Jarvan's boss side, and then he's starting to run. Okay, he's starting to run. He just can't make it there in time. Fuck. Ugh. Thoads also can't be doing much. Wow, even though it was on Misfit side of the map, and Thoads teleported immediately, Jarvan was just too far away, and they couldn't get much out of it. Febby did a really great job of surviving there, though. I think that's a clear outplay from Fevibin that Fnatic just got away with. They committed so many people deep into trying to kill Febby, but Misfits, the only person that was able to reply was Gorilla, because Gorilla could ult. Everyone else was so far off. Like, Jarvan started running as soon as the play happened, but he was all the way in bot. That's like a kind of play where they 4-man dive you at first turret and you survive the dive, then you should be punishing them, but there was no punish. Yeah, so that's CP, but he couldn't get much out of it. Oh my god. Misfits won the 2v2, but they're still the ones coming up behind. They win the initial 2v2, but so I'd stayed in for too long. Honestly, Misfits macro isn't bad. It's not their macro that's hurting. So they win this 2v2. They're able to kill Bwipo. And then Fuad's going back in and then getting killed on the Bwipo revive. He should have just stopped chasing Nemesis. He should have stayed on top of Bwipo. Thoughts on Febiven's build? Righteous Glory. What? That is not normal. If you need... That's actually pretty bad. So... mages have access to the best defensive items in the game. Even more so than tanks, they have access to the best defensive items in the game. Banshee is an incredibly strong defensive item. Zhonya's is an incredibly strong defensive item. Like, they have the best defensive item in the game. Zhonya's is the best defensive item in the game. And for you to not build Zhonya's and for you to fucking build Righteous Glory over Zhonya's as Rise is mind-boggling. It's the Doinby build, but Doinby builds this when they have no other engage. Misfits has J4 Galio. I mean, yeah, they have J4 Galio. I'm not even sure this build is good. I can't really say this build is good because when you have Zhonya's as an item, why would you ever build another armor item on Rise? Zhonya's is way too fucking good. Like, mage defensive items are absolute premium. That's why Kai'Sa is... It's one of the reasons why Kai'Sa is broken is the fact that she can have access to the good mage items like Zhonya's. Yeah, what's a Righteous Glory? Yeah, and he also has so much engage on his team. Jarvan with Galio follow up. Why do you need Righteous Glory? Interesting. Doinby 1v9 with this build. I would imagine that's him being good more so than this build being good. Oh my. Let's check why they're face checking in. That's super important. They still have blue trinket on Cassio. Okay, so they're not even face checking in. Wait, Max Floor engaged on the Sejuani with dash. They engaged on the Sejuani with dash. Bwipo coming in for a flank. Braum going in after. Able to kill Rides because of that. Wait, so it wasn't even fucking Fnatic forcing Misfits to come in. The Jarvan just engaged on the Seju and then Sejuani just dashed out. Is this fucking real life? Wait, is this fucking real life? Did you guys see the same shit I did? What is this? So you see Sejuani, someone that's incredibly tanky, Cinderhulk, Stone Plating, Mercs, Kindle Gem, Sejuani passive, Aftershock, and you're Jarvan and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna ult EQ this guy against the wall, and he dashes out of your ult EQ. And then your Rise is like, what the fuck? And people chasing after the Rise. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. This isn't even bad macro. This is just the level of decision making from holy shit. This is when you have absolute faith that your team's gonna lose. This is when negative faith comes around, when you're like, my team's gonna lose no matter what, and you feel like you need to make a play. I'm trying to explain like this decision. Why the fuck they would be doing that? You could say he max lured his team into a bad fight. He ult the Seju and then he Qs out. Oh. I'm still not in love with the draft, but draft isn't even the primary problem. Oh my god. Dude, I love Soaz. I think it's incredible how long he's played. It's 0-5 unacceptable, 0-5 is unacceptable, but what the fuck is like the overall decision making of this team and like their cohesion? I think it just fucking baffles me how bad it is. Also, why the fuck is Fnatic pushing 5-man? Why the fuck are they pushing 5-man when they have Baron? Why would you 5-man when you have Baron? Guys, let's think about this. Baron buff only works when you're at a lane, right? If you have multiple people with Baron and you spread those multiple people out, then you get multiple waves that have Baron pressure. But if you have all 5 people in the same lane, then you only get Baron buff on one wave. Of course, I'm like, that's just fucking base facts. Like, why the fuck would you group all 5 there? It makes no sense. Oh my. One thing that I can fault Misfits for. One thing I can fault Misfits for is you have way too much veterans, and leaving Jeff Feeds to coach that team was suicidal, and it was not gonna work. I think a lot of people could have seen that from a mile away. Things I cannot fault Misfits for. Hansama and Max Floor's level of play this year, and also Soaj to a certain degree. I don't think anyone knew Max Floor was gonna be this bad. Soaj has been inconsistent, but I think Soaj still to his core has like put up decent performance. As for Max Floor, it's fuck, man. No, even with a very strong veteran, you need a good coach. You need a coach at least that can get the veterans on the same page, and that's what Misfits really struggled with, getting the veterans on the same page. It wasn't about lack of experience or lack of knowledge. Holy fuck, this game was a stomp. Jesus fuck. Damn, this game must feel especially bad for Fnatic, or not for Fnatic, for Thoads. 0-8 versus your home team. 0-8 versus your home team. Holy fuck. Thoads, he wants to die inside. At 0-9. Ripperoni.